We're back. We had a down week last week. What was it? Week 10. Didn't make it. I was out of town. No one was able to pick up the slack. I thought about doing them over the weekend, but then, life just got busy and it is what it is. But I'm not to blame here. It's actually Jason's fault or Zade's fault or whoever was supposed to do them and didn't do them. Don't blame me. Boycott Zade. Okay. Moving on. So we won't have the previous power rankings to show from last week. We'll just go ahead and jump into this week's and start counting down. So go ahead and starting at number 10. Maybe. There we go. Starting at number 10, we got the Chain Gang. Now, I don't remember where the Chain Gang was at before. I think he was 10. He might have been 10, honestly, 2 weeks ago, whatever it was. This is kind of a surprise for me. So he got the win last week over the Gibsons. Wasn't able to break 100 points, just under at 99.9. Had a really good week from Devonta Smith, but the receivers have just kind of been his issue all year. His running back position is now a problem with Kareem being injured, and then Derrick Henry looks like he's out for the season. Receiver, he's been kind of scrapping, trying to get something from Brandon Ayuk. Devonta Smith ended up being a great pick. Has really worked out for him now as the clear number one wide receiver there in Philadelphia. He's hoping to get Antonio Brown back because he's kind of a big play guy for him. He did pick up Cam Newton this past week. I have to see if he's still on his team or not. But he picked up Cam, so will he actually play him over Lamar Jackson? I don't see that ever really happening unless something were to happen to Lamar. But yeah, so last week he was able to beat the Gibsons. Now Colin, major Super Bowl hangover from last year, or championship hangover, whatever you want to call it. Only scored 85 points. So coming up this week, though, Chain Gang Trevor going to be taking on Hottie Toddy and the Team Tots. So a lot of beef here in this matchup, and right now it looks like Eric's projected to win by about 16 points. Trevor's not excited for this. I know he said that he's a little disappointed in what's happened to his team. It's kind of falling apart. He's really scrapping to try to find running backs now, with Cordero looking like he's going to miss time, Derrick Henry out, Kareem Hunt out. We'll kind of see what Trevor's able to do. So he does have a 6-4 record, right there in the core of the playoff race, still fighting for that, or really to make it into the playoffs. But he's in a good position. It's just that the team is just falling apart around him, so he's really struggling on that end. But we're gonna move on to number 9, and it's going to be the Gibsons. So the guy that Trevor beat last week, Colin, comes in above him somehow at number 9. But down week for the Gibsons, honestly, just down season across the board at 2-8. We were talking earlier, I think Colin's season might honestly be over at 2-8. It's going to be really, really hard to come back. He'd have to win out and probably get a lot of help. I don't even know if it'd be mathematically possible, honestly, for him to come back and get a playoff spot. But the team all season has just really struggled. Injuries with Dalvin Cook, Alvin Kamara. They haven't had the huge games that they were having last season, really. I mean, he was scoring, it seemed like last year, 30 points from both of those players the whole season. Just hasn't been the same story this year, and just been really struggling. So bad season for the Gibsons, but they do find themselves at number 9 and somehow not number 10. But whatever, that's what the people think. Coming in at number 8, we got Booty Pebbles. So I think Mark actually dropped down a spot from where he was before. And this was all after the exposure, just being exposed with Mark's bench, and people realizing after ranking him so highly, of looking at the record Mark keeps winning, and then they actually looked at his team and they're like, holy crap, his team sucks. He's had the Nick Chubb injury, and all season Mark's been living off of injured running backs, so backup running backs really, and injuries to other running backs. So last week he went the Washington stack with Gibson, McKissick, McLaurin. He did pick up his dude Dan Arnold that he had a bet against, so he's really relying. The week before that, I think it was Joe Burrow, who he hates, and now he's picking up Dan Arnold, who he said wouldn't be a top tight end. So a lot of hypocrisy going on here with the Booty Pebbles. And he's starting to slide down the standings now. So it seemed, I think he held the lead in is it the white division? Black division. I think he had the lead in that division the whole season so far, and after this week, he actually gave up the lead to Zaid. So big loss, only scored 89 points. Not a good week for him. So coming up this week, he can retake the lead of the division against Zaid and Zal Zappy Zorillas. The biggest problem is going to be his team's looking a little rough. So as we said before, Mark doesn't have a ton of depth. He relies heavily off of injuries to other running backs. Terry McLaurin's been okay. Godwin has been really hit or miss along with Lockett. So he has some boom bust receivers really. He really needs Nick Chubb to come back to be able to have any chance, and then maybe CEH, but is CEH actually good? We don't know. He will be going against Zaid this week, so Zaid does have some pretty critical players on bye and also injured, so maybe he can get a little lucky, but yeah, number 8, not looking good for Mark. Mark, you're sliding down now, but he is always comfortable down here, so it's fine. Coming at number 7, we have the Nutcrackers. So last week, the Nutcrackers took on Fama, or Father of the Mags, Jimmy's team, and he got that win. So moved up to 3-7. Maybe very small chance, kept his playoff hopes alive. Now he's really been struggling all year for receiver. He was able to get Michael Pittman, who ended up being a great trade pick for him. He kind of had a down week last week, only 9 points, but Pittman's been having a good breakout season this year. He made the trade for Calvin Ridley with my team, with hopes that, Ridley would kind of be able to shore up his wide receiver core and give him a good number 1 receiver, but then Ridley ended up walking away from the game, so I kind of dodged a bullet there. His running back core, Najee Harris, DeAndre Swift. Swift's been really solid this year, which has been kind of surprising because the Lions are not a good team, but he did pick up Cam Akers again with the keeper value. So he said he was looking for keeper value for next year, but he still has a chance if he doesn't fully give up that he could somehow sneak into the playoffs. This week he'll be taking on the Cardboard Hippos. Dustin's probably one of the hottest teams in the league right now, has a great roster, so Austin really has his work made out for him coming in this week, so we'll see what he's able to do against the Hippos coming up this week. Coming at number 6, we have Zal Zappy Zorilla. So I think this is surprising to me because I think Zaid actually slid down. He had a down week. He didn't get a point. He got just over half a point from his quarterback. Matt Ryan just sucked. And honestly, Zaid's team didn't play very well, especially how it's been playing lately. His receivers, Debo had a really good week. Cooper Kupp ended up, I guess, salvaging it. He had a really rough start to that game, and the Rams offense looked terrible. But yeah, I mean, I think Zaid's team's been pretty good. Like I said, he does have like Cooper Kupp and his Rams guys on bye this week, which is a huge deal because Cooper Kupp's been an absolute monster. But yeah, this week he'll be taking on the Booty Pebbles. So like we said, Mark's team's been a little soft lately, has been struggling to score points. Zaid's hasn't really, other than last week. Even with a down week, he still scored like 111, I believe it was. 111. Joe Burrow revenge week on Mark, so definitely want to watch out there. Looks like Zaid's got Michael Carter locked in there, so we know how much Zaid loves his guys, so definitely we'll be watching his New York Jets take on the Dolphins and what Michael Carter can do. And then he's got AJ Dillon slotted in there after Aaron Jones's injury, so it'll be exciting to see what AJ Dillon can actually do with a full workload, if he gets the full workload. So it looks like, I mean, Zaid has a ton of running backs, honestly, with Montgomery, Carter, and Dillon now, Saquon, Aaron Jones. Dearness Johnson was probably the pickup of the year. He's been absolutely outstanding when Chubb and all them have been out. So that's Mark's probably dream guy right there, that, Chubb's hurt. He could have put Dearness Johnson in if only he had Fab. Really unfortunate. Crazy how that works, huh, Mark? But that'll be the Zorillas. Moving on to number 5. We got Team Tots. So Eric coming in at number 5. I think this is a surprise because he was down bottom of the power rankings for so long, bottom of the standings, really struggling. Is he on a win streak? So he took down, let's see what he's got. Oh, it's just a 1-game win streak, whatever. But last week he took down the Piss Boys, so that was the battle of the zero RB teams really. Took them down, scored 150 points, an incredible week from Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, and then Darrell Williams. So he picked up Darrell Williams, played him in his flex, and the Chiefs stack really just carried him to victory. I know Jason was extremely upset about that. So, but yeah, otherwise he has James Conner. I don't know how long Chase Edmonds is going to be out. So James Conner's been solid as long as Chase Edmonds been out. Leonard Fournette seems to be the clear number one running back for Tampa Bay. They've really been using him a lot, and they hate crap. What's his name? I don't remember what the other running back's name, but they absolutely hate him, the younger guy. Renfro, extremely solid wide receiver, gonna get you like a solid 10, I feel like, per game. Did TJ Hawkinson not play or something, or did he not have a catch? He only had one target, is what I'm showing, which is kind of crazy. But yeah, a donut from TJ Hawkinson, but Potts was still able to score 150, so really wild week. Darrell Williams with 25, crazy stat line for him. But yeah, that's gonna do it for Team Tots. Coming up this week, he'll be taking on the Chain Gang, like we said before. It doesn't look like he has any major bye weeks or anything like that. He'll be playing at full strength with Mahomes, and Tyreek Hill are going against Dallas, so could hope for a really high scoring game there. Be able to put up a lot of points. The interesting thing I think to look at in this matchup is that Eric has Patrick Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, and Trevor has Travis Kelce. So Trevor has a little bit of coverage at least there, but the Tyreek Hill bombs could still end up killing him. And it looks like Eric's going to roll Darrell Williams out again. So we'll see how that works out for him. But like I said before, he's like 16-point favorite as of right now. We'll see how that shakes up on Sunday and Monday. So moving into number 4, we got Father of the Mags, Jimmy, coming in at number 4 despite his loss to the Nutcrackers last week. Jimmy's team has been pretty good this year, despite all of us kind of bashing at the beginning. It's kind of evened out recently. He's sitting at a 6-4 record, so right there in the thick of the playoff race right now. Kyler Murray's been missing for him the past couple weeks. He had Jamar Chase on bye last week, so one of his big wide receivers. And Mike Williams has really cooled off. So Mike Williams started off extremely hot at the beginning of the season, and the Chargers' just offense overall has kind of slowed down. Davante Adams, I don't think Davante Adams has been the same this year as he usually is. It's showing that he's still the number 5 wide receiver on the year, but he's had a 33-point week and he had a 26-point week. But other than that, he's been kind of in the teens. Like, he hasn't been as crazy as he usually is, you know, and that just absolutely dominant wide receiver 1 that we're used to seeing. Running backs are looking a little shaky right now for the Mags. So he's got Josh Jacobs, Alex Collins, Devonta Freeman, Chris Carson, Chase Edmonds, Adrian Peterson, and I think Miles Sanders is supposed to be coming back. So Miles Sanders will definitely help him out, or at least you could hope it would. And he's hoping one of these other guys can get something going to be able to fill that gap. So coming up this week, the Mags will be taking on the Gibson. So interesting matchup there. Don't really have much to say about it. Right now it's pretty 50-50. The projected points are extremely close, so that'll be interesting to see how that plays out. I wonder if Kyler Murray's going to play this week, and kind of how he looks when he comes back, because the Cardinals offense looked really good when he was playing, and then it's kind of downgraded a little bit recently, which you can kind of expect with a backup quarterback. But that's the Mags there at number 4. Coming at number 3, oh, we went backwards. Coming in at number 3, we got the Piss Boys. So after their loss to Tots, they still had a good week, 148 points. Real heartbreaker there for Jason, but still finds himself at number 3. So the wide receivers showed up last week. Well, 2 of them, 2 out of the 5. So Diggs had a great week, 27 points. CeeDee Lamb had 25 points. AJ Brown only had 2. Jerry Jeudy only an 8. So not kind of hit or miss on that end, honestly. He had Ramondre Stevenson on his bench with 26 points, so that's really got to hurt, especially when he played. Well, I guess you're going to start Darrell Henderson, obviously, with your 6 points, and then he played Mark Ingram in the absence of Alvin Kamara. So, but yeah, I mean, you look at Jason's team, like, yeah, he has his wide receivers that can be extremely explosive. It seems like he just has had trouble getting them all to like go off in the same week. If he can, like, he's gonna have huge weeks, and that really helps him out with like being able to have like huge point victories, all that. And he's had good points scored on the season, but he's also had a lot of down weeks and a lot of just variance hitting his receivers, where one might go off and the rest of them just kind of suck, and it kills his week. But coming up this week, he'll be taking on the Bebop and Baby Bears. He does have Darrell Henderson and Jerry Jeudy on bye, so that Darrell Henderson bye is actually really big for him right now, because his running backs are looking rough. So Ramondre Stevenson, I honestly don't know the situation in New England, like with their running backs. It's crazy. It seems like it changes every single week. And he has Mark Ingram in there, which I think Alvin Kamara is practicing again, which puts him in a really, really tough spot there. But he's going to be, again, it's just all about his receivers of Stephon Diggs, CeeDee Lamb. He'll get T. Higgins back this week, and then A.J. Brown. So that Dak CD stack is huge for him. Amari could hopefully help out the Baby Bears a little bit and maybe balance it out a little bit. But yeah, this is a really important game. This is they're both 5-5 right now in the white division, or black division. I keep getting confused. Both 5-5 in the black division, fighting for a playoff spot, trying to claw their way up. So I know the Baby Bears are on like really bad run right now. We started like 4-0 or 3-0, and now we're 5-5. So it's been a rough time, but we'll see. This is going to be a definite matchup to keep your eyes on, and see what's able to work out. So coming at number 2, we have, speaking of the Baby Bears, so a really rough week for the Baby Bears last week. They got Tom Brady back, and we're hoping that would result in a good point total, but he only scored 13 because I think he had like 2 or 3 interceptions, and he looked awful. Eckler had 13 points, so not great, but not awful, honestly. The real issue with the Baby Bears has been wide receiver. So even when Calvin Ridley was on the team, it's like Ridley, that Atlanta offense just hasn't been good, and it really hurt. So the wide receiver 1 right now for the Baby Bears, Amari Cooper, who seems extremely boom or bust, and touchdown dependent, honestly, because the Dallas offense has so many weapons, so many places to go with the ball. So he has his good weeks, he has his down weeks. Otherwise, we've been playing like Marvin Jones, Emmanuel Sanders, Corey Davis, with Tyler Boyd on the bench. It's not looking good for the wide receiver core, but so it really comes down to the Baby Bears. Basically, the opposite of the Piss Boys is the running backs. So Christian McCaffrey, Austin Eckler, Joe Mixon, and then the tight end of Kyle Pitts are really the core. That's the recipe for the Baby Bear success. So we need to have big weeks from all those players to be able to get those wins and continue the playoff push. So really important matchup here, especially as we're getting closer to the end of the season and things start shaping up for the playoffs. Definitely keep an eye on that. So that leaves one team to be the number 1 team on the week, and that's going to be the Cardboard Hippos, sitting there at 7-3. Good week last week with 141 points. Dustin's team all around has been extremely solid, especially this year. My thing's looking weird and messing up the names of players, but I mean, keepers Josh Allen and Justin Jefferson have been incredible for him this year. Josh Allen's, let's see, the number 2 quarterback on the season. Justin Jefferson, the number 11 wide receiver on the season. So we got both those players at extremely good value for keepers, and then picked up Zeke and Jonathan Taylor with his first 2 picks, I believe it was. Keenan Allen, Deontay Johnson, rounding out his wide receiver core. He's been trying to figure out the tight end situation, and not trading, but I think he's picked up a couple different tight ends and trying to fill that gap. And then flex possibilities, he has other options. Now, you look at his bench, he has Javonte Williams, Damian Harris, 2 very serviceable running backs and good backups. Wide receiver, Jalen Waddle, Robbie Anderson, Russell Gage, and then Kenny Golladay. So the last 2 aren't as exciting. I think Robbie could be very interesting, especially with Cam coming in now, because Darnold was absolute garbage. So it'll be interesting to see what Robbie can do, and if he can kind of turn it around, especially how he was last year. He was extremely reliable and just a good target hog. So we'll see what he's able to do. But yeah, Dustin seems extremely solid, has been putting on great weeks this year. Yeah, so he'll be taking on Nutcrackers this week. He's a pretty good favorite this week. He just has Stafford and Javonte Williams on bye. So not even normal starters for the Hippos, and I would expect them honestly to take that game, but we'll see what happens. So this leaves us with one more thing. This is going to be coming back, Wolfies game of the week. Welcome back, Wolfie. We know you had a good vacation. I hope you enjoyed your whatever you eat, tuna and shrimp and stuff. Wolfies game of the week. We're gonna have number 5 ranked Team Tots versus number 10 the Chain Gang in the Beef O'Brady's Super Beef Mega Beef Aged Dry Beef Bowl. So we got the 2 Chiefs players here, Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill, the 2 probably top scorers for both the teams. There's a lot of beef and a lot of history behind this one. Probably big money, a lot of pride, and we'll see what happens. So that's going to do it for our week 11 power rankings. Thank you for tuning into the show. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, as Jason always says. We'll see you next week. Goodbye.